In Germany, they won't leave you for saying the wrong thing. They'll leave you for saying nothing at all. Sounds insane? Stick with me. Because by the end, you'll understand why so many foreigners who arrive here with the best intentions leave completely baffled. They did everything right. Flowers, compliments, the whole bill paid. The door held open. And that's exactly what buried them. The guidebooks won't tell you this, and that's a shame. Because what reads as gallantry in one culture reads as a red flag here. And the reverse is just as true. What strikes you as coldness, sometimes even outright rudeness, often means the opposite, that you're being taken seriously. Hold that thought. It's going to flip a few times before we're done. Let's start with the most explosive part. Germans have a thing called Streitkultur, literally argument culture. And no, it's not about screaming matches and smashed plates.
It's the idea that open disagreement is a form of respect. If a German woman argues with you, cuts in, tells you to your face, "No, you're wrong here," congratulations, she finds you interesting. She isn't performing politeness, she's actually present with you. Now picture the foreigner who's used to the idea that you flatter a woman, agree with everything, smooth every edge, just to be liked. Here it works in reverse. Constant agreement reads as having no opinion of your own, and a person with no opinion isn't interesting to anyone here. So here's your first do this and she vanishes. Agree with everything just to avoid friction. Within a week, you'll be written off as background noise. And the first do this and you stay. Have a position and don't be afraid to defend it, even when it clashes with hers. Here, an honest argument over dinner is the flirting. Got it? Keep going because the next scene breaks newcomers even harder. The bill.
The exact moment that trips up almost everyone. You're at the restaurant, dinner's winding down, you make the grand sweep to grab the whole check, and you catch a flicker of confusion on her face. Not gratitude, confusion. Because Germany runs deep on the idea of Gleichberechtigung, equality, not as a slogan, but at the level of the wallet, the table, the everyday. Here it's completely normal to getrennt zahlen, pay separately. The server will come over and ask it outright, zusammen oder getrennt, together or separate. And for a lot of German women, splitting the bill on a first date isn't stinginess at all. It's a signal that you see her as an equal, not as something to be bought with a meal. The roots run deep, into a strong post-war women's movement, into decades that made a woman's financial independence the norm here, not the exception. Just read it the right way. Paying for someone isn't taboo here. Just don't do it on autopilot as proof of your status. Offer, ask. Let her choose. There's the fine line. The gesture should be an offer, not a display of wallet power. Feel the difference? It decides almost everything here. Next, the thing that scrambles nearly every newcomer's brain. Germany barely has dating in the form the movies sell you. There's no script of, you meet, you go on 3 dates, he brings flowers, he asks, "So, are you my girlfriend now?" That ritual basically doesn't exist here. Relationships tend to grow out of friend groups instead. People simmer together as a group for a long time. They hang out, argue, talk, and then at some point, 2 of them just end up together. No official start, no starting gun, and this drives foreigners up the wall. They're waiting for a clear signal, the exact second when it became official. But there isn't one. There's a slow drift in which you either become one of them or you don't. And this is where Vereinskultur walks onto the stage, the culture of clubs and associations.
Germany is a country of Vereine. Sports clubs, choirs, gardening clubs, shooting clubs, cycling clubs. There are countless of them. This isn't just a hobby, it's the social fabric of the country. And friendships, connections, relationships very often form right there, in a shared activity, not over a third cocktail at a bar. Want to understand how people here actually get close? Look for a shared pursuit, not seduction tricks. Hit like if you didn't know about Vereine. It helps more people discover this side of Germany because the tourist never gets shown it, ever. Now, German directness, the thing that makes newcomers go weak at the knees. German honesty is its own kind of culture shock, and you can't really prepare for it. Someone will tell you to your face that your idea is mediocre, that you're late, that the shirt doesn't suit you. And it isn't an attack. It's respect for you as an adult who can take the truth.
Here, people don't wrap every thought in 3 layers of padding the way English-speaking cultures do. If a German woman says no, it's no. No hidden flaw, no secret hint. If she says yes, it's yes. And this, honestly, is the most valuable and the most disorienting part at once. You won't have to guess. You won't be strung along out of politeness. But the same is expected from you. Games, hints, and evasive "I'll think about it," all of it reads here as dishonesty. And tucked inside this is a detail worth more than every technique put together. In a culture that worships directness, any attempt to manipulate is transparent, and it destroys trust instantly. All those pickup tricks, rehearsed lines, manufactured mystery, here they work strictly against you, because they read as fake, and fakeness is the cardinal sin in a system built on honesty. Lock that in, because in the finale, everything converges right back here. Add to that the attitude toward personal space and time.
Germany punctuality is not a myth or a joke. Showing up 15 minutes late with no warning isn't creative free-spiritedness or charming chaos. It's disrespect, registered in an instant. But say you'll be there at 7 and arrive at 7, and you've already done more than 100 compliments could. Reliability here is a form of affection. "You can count on him" sounds more romantic here than "he's so passionate." Sit with that. In most cultures, it's the other way around. And one more thing that leaves a lot of people stumped: the calm, matter-of-fact attitude toward the body. Germany has a long tradition called FKK, Freikörperkultur, free body culture. Nudist beaches, mixed saunas where people of different genders sit together with no clothes on, and the context is completely non-sexual. To a German, a naked body in a sauna is just a body, not an invitation, not a hint.
The foreigner who doesn't get this either freezes up in shock or behaves inappropriately, and either one marks them as an outsider in a single second. Here, the physical is separated from lust far more cleanly than in many other cultures around the world. Now pump the brakes, because I've been saying German women this whole video, and honestly, that's a generalization worth avoiding. Bavaria, down south, is Catholic tradition, beer gardens, a louder and warmer manner. The north is Hanseatic, reserved, cool, closer to Scandinavian sparseness with words. And then there's the fault line between west and east that 35 years after the wall came down still hasn't disappeared. Different everyday histories, different relationships to the state, to work, to money, to how quickly you open up to a stranger. A woman from Hamburg, one from Munich, and one from Leipzig are three different cultural worlds. Lumping them together is the first mistake a newcomer makes.
Maybe the most expensive one. And now we reach the most unexpected part, the part that made it worth watching to the end. That same coldness everyone whines about in the first few weeks turns, in the end, into its exact opposite. German friendships, German relationships form slowly, agonizingly slowly, for anyone used to easy warmth on the first night. But what does form holds for decades. People here don't throw the word friend around. They don't toss out, "let's grab coffee sometime," unless they mean it for real. The shallow warmth that so many cultures run on is replaced here by something else, a deep, understated, utterly reliable attachment. And the foreigners who manage to get through that slow phase all the way, they can never forget Germany afterward, for exactly this reason. Because nowhere else does "you're my person" mean so much and last so long. That's why the ones who left disappointed mostly just didn't hold out. They measured a foreign culture with their own ruler.
They waited for fast warmth, flowers, familiar rituals, and got a slow, honest, cool at the start process, at the end of which lies something their own culture may never have had at all. They walked away one step short of the prize. So what does all of this say about the country? That Germany isn't cold. It's honest. Not closed off, just slow and real. Here you don't buy affection or charm your way in with tricks. You earn it through directness, reliability, the willingness to be yourself and to argue to someone's face. And in that, if you really think about it, there's far more respect for a person than in any rehearsed art of seduction. There's the whole secret. Do this and she's yours. Here means one single thing. Be real. There are still dozens of countries ahead, each with its own unwritten rules the guidebooks stay quiet about.
Subscribe, and next time I'll take you to a country where it all works in reverse, where slowness is an insult and falling hard at first sight is the norm. The contrast is going to be brutal, I promise. And in the meantime, answer me one question down in the comments. What surprised you the most? The split bill? The culture of open arguing? Or the fact that relationships here grow out of friendship with no official start at all? And which country should I head to next? Drop it below. I read everything.